Welcome, everyone. I am Glenda Dawson. This is LD, and we are here at Glenda's Dragon's Den. We have a phenomenal guest tonight.
Oh, you flatter me.
Not him.
Oh.
Not him. Not him. Let's get this straight.
That's right. You never flatter.
Nope, never flatter. So, we have the wonderful Kathrine Sorilos. She is world-renowned psychic, physical trance medium, and channeler. And she's the founder of Oracle Whispers. And, I could go on and on and on and on.
And you usually do.
But we're going to turn it over to her. Hi, Kathrine. How are you
today?
Guys.
Hi, good. I love your music on the video. I was about to grab the sword up. I thought I was in Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones. It was just like, nice. Yeah, I'm good.
It's good. It's good energy, right?
It is.
Pressure.
Wakes you up. It does.
And especially you, since it's
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
4 a.m. in Greece.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, where are you, first of all?
Right.
I'm in Athens.
Athens.
Okay.
Yep, I'm in Athens. In the center of well, not in the center of Athens. I'm in the suburbs of Athens. It's still an old neighborhood. It's called Daphne, which is bay leaves in English.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
And you're in the Oracle Cave.
In the Oracle Cave.
Yes.
There we go. And rightly so.
That's where I am. Exactly. And I've got the white tree on the background, and I've done my Christmas. I've done everything.
So tell us about yourself, your accomplishments.
Okay.
You've done a lot, so might as well tell us.
I haven't done enough.
That's why we're still here.
Right.
Exactly. I started off at a very, like every child starts. I think you know that very well as well, Glenda. You started very young too. Since we all have psychic abilities from the day we're born, right?
Right.
So we all see. It's really funny how we all see the same thing. Like we always feel like somebody's following us at the back, or we always feel someone's watching us from the back, or you might feel a breeze, or you might be talking about something, and you're feeling energy in the background.
Right.
So I always was an empath, and I never knew about it, because when you're 11, you don't know what an empath, especially in the 1980s, you don't know what an empath is, or a sensitive, or a psychic. Whenever you used to hear psychics, you used to just imagine those women with a thing on the head and a psychic ball. So yeah, I never knew what that was. There was a lot of hush with our parents in those days.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like wrong, don't talk about it. Despite the fact that my parents were both, my dad knew how to do tarot readings and card readings, and I didn't find out until I was 15.
Oof.
And Mum used to see premonitions and precognitions in her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then my granddad on my mum's side used to go down to the swamps, and used to speak to the Fae people in Fae language. And I never knew about that. I know. I found out 2 years ago. But he never spoke about it because he was the sheriff of the village, and he thought they would mock him. Mm-hmm. So it is in the family history. It runs through the DNA. And so at 11 years old, I always felt, somebody was right there behind me, etc. So we went to a monastery one day with my auntie and my mum, and they were actually performing an exorcism in the monastery. And I felt everything to the point where my whole body was burning. I could feel what that girl was feeling. So I came outside. I felt a bit anxious. I remember I fainted. It was too much because I was feeling the people in there as well, all their emotions. So I'm like, what's going on? So My aunt, one of the people there at the church, very well-educated priest, gave my auntie a number telling her that there's an institute called the Life Programming. This is back in 1984. I still got the book. It's inside my boxes. So there were seminars where they were teaching you how to do psychokinesis. Like psychokinesis, telekinesis is the same thing. How to do remote viewing, self-hypnosis, astral traveling. The old Esther's method with, not with a thing on your head, but covering your eyes and your ears, and actually doing like drawings or picking up cards. Those are the old Esther's method that we used to do. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
And from then on, I sort of started training myself. I was open, so it came natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the age of 15, I saw my first apparition, and then it was just after that, like it was on stages 11, 15 to 16, and then it will just sort of just settle down a bit, and then it will just hit off at 22 up to about 30, then calm down for a little while, and then after 30, my body went into a lot of shock because I lost my mum at that point, so I awoken up everything, like all my psychic abilities, all my spiritual abilities just heightened even more, to the point where I started having panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And it's what I say, when you've got young children, don't hide their abilities, don't stop their abilities, because later on in their life, when something really bad happens, that will heighten what was hidden, and it will make it even worse. So from then on, I started doing I'm a Reiki master teacher, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, I've done crystal therapy, hands-on healing, parapsychology. I've done a bit of everything.
Good.
I've done a bit of everything. Yep.
Why do you think your parents let you hang out to dry? They didn't. I mean, they must have been aware that you had some of these gifts. Why do you think they didn't support them?
They didn't support them because they were probably scared of the Greek community in Australia, because I was born in Australia, and we lived in a very closed Greek, not closed, but the Greek community. Everybody knew everybody, around who was who. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. My mum's uncle that lived in Australia, that brought my mum in Australia, when he saw me writing with my left hand, he would tell my mother, you got to stop her from writing with her left hand. That's the devil's hand. So living in a community like that and relatives like that, they were scared of our abilities. They just didn't want to talk about them.
So do you feel that you would have been in a better situation had they said, look, this is what we do, but don't tell anyone, as opposed to just kind of, waiting until you were 15?
Yes and no, because I believe my parents didn't have the knowledge to be able to not train me, but to guide me.
Right.
And I think that was one thing that they were scared of, or worried about. They didn't have the knowledge to help me, because they only knew. Sorry.
He said that explains it, because
they
were afraid of guiding you the wrong way.
Exactly. Not like we do now. I mean,
something that would have made things worse, I guess.
Right.
Exactly. Or teaching you the wrong things. Not like we do now with our kids. Glenda knows that very well. Teaching the children, she teaches children as well. So about the psychic abilities. So now we know, this generation, we know how to guide our kids, at least a little bit more better than what our parents did.
Right. The fact that we have actually welcomed the training,
Exactly.
then we could train them, and hopefully they run with it. And if it doesn't resonate with them, they will go and find what training belongs to them, because each one of us, does it a differently. Right.
True.
So that's the interesting part.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have how many youngins?
I've got five. I've got a son that's 27, another son that's 25, another son that's 20, and I've got two little girls that are turning 13 and 11 next year in March and April. So, yeah, it's good.
And
no more.
I know. And so the three boys, have they?
My three boys, yes.
Yeah. Did they experience? Are they gifted? Have they taken the willingness to learn, or are they basically no, not now?
Every day it's like they're getting every day makes being at home and talking about it and seeing me doing different things. They're trained. I won't say they're trained already, but they trained every day. My oldest, Paul, he has premonitions and precognitions through his dreams. He sees dreams like that. Mario, he's the 25-year-old. He speaks in tongues in his sleep, and languages I've never heard before.
It could be light language instead of just tongues, right?
Exactly. Yeah, light. I think you're right about that, Glenda. I think it might be light language, to the point where I've had his ex-girlfriend, in sleeping next to him, and they would wake up in the morning and they'll be like, Miss Kathrine, Miss Kathrine. Like, yeah, what? He speaks in tongues or different languages. And,
just let it go.
Welcome to the family.
Exactly. My other one, Crystal, he's got my gift. He's a psychic transmedium. He sees things, but he's scared. He's scared. So, he will see things. He'll feel things. He'll come up to me and say, "Mum, my whole body just feels like it's levitating. What is going on?" And there will be something that's going to happen in the day, but it sort of scares him and excites him at the same time.
Right. No, he will get to a point. It sounds like he'll get to a point where he'll just accept it, and it'll be easier for him.
Yeah. I'm letting him, accept it on his own terms.
Oh,
I'm right here, and that's it.
Now your two girls, I know that they've been even ghost investigating there. I've seen them.
Have. Yeah. They're actually in the American Paranormal magazine, the girls.
Oh.
Yeah, together with Mummy. Hang on. There's Mummy.
Okay, there it is.
And the girls, thank you. And the girls are right. Where are the girls? Oh, there they are. Hang on. There's Danai, the youngest, and there's Ippoliti.
Okay, look at that.
Yeah.
They are taking it all in.
And what issue is that?
There.
What issue is that?
The October issue.
October issue. Okay.
October of 2022.
All right.
Yep, October 2022. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that one.
It's they're all into it. I could tell.
They are loving it, Glenda. They love it. The oldest, Ippoliti, Hippolyte, that's her name in English. Because she's an empath, she feels everything like its magnitude. It's so intense for her that she gets very, very, very emotional. So I'm right next to her all the time because she gets like a panic attack. She gets emotional. Well, the other one couldn't care less. She walks in and she sees all the dark side. She sees the gory side. She's like, "Oh yeah, Mum, his face was twisted, his hands were broken." I'm like, okay. So yeah.
Well, um, one has developed the empathic ability more than the other one.
Mhm.
That's all. Or
Yep.
the other one has learned how to put up her wall, and that's
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
because we all do things differently. Although we all have the gifts, just a little different. I think that's funny. Yeah,
Exactly. The
I
other.
saw them in one of the lives that you guys were doing, or the
Yeah.
shows that you guys were doing, and I was like, "All right, they're so
With the
good."
girls.
Yes, yes, I thought it was fantastic because it shows other parents that you should not stop that. Or
Exactly.
let them experience it, help them
Yep.
through it.
Well, you can't stop it because
Yeah.
if you stop it and you bottle it up, that's when they wind up having a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Exactly. Exactly.
much healthier to help them understand and manage it so that they can off gas it and not build up the pressure and pop.
Right. Right. And so that when they get older, they'll know what to do. And
Exactly. Exactly.
so, what else have you been up to, women? Because I know you're always up
Okay.
to something.
So
Okay.
rumor has it you have
I've got,
a book.
I've
Is
got
there
what?
Is
there a
there?
book I don't know about?
No, no, not yet.
But you're working on one.
You're working on one.
I'm working on one. I'm working on a book. I've got my own radio station. I'm a radio producer here in Athens, Greece, at a radio station every Friday. It's called Paranormal Activity,
Good.
and I'm bringing in guests. Well, what I do is I pre-record the sessions because the time difference is harsh, with America and Australia. So what I do is I do pre-recording videos
Mm-hmm.
and of different paranormal investigators and guests, and I would love to have you on one, Glenda, whenever you can.
Thank you.
I'll just
Hello.
excuse
All
myself.
right, I'll have both of you.
Linda,
I'll have both of you. I'll have both of you.
you're much kinder to your guests apparently than we are to ours because we're having you on live at 4 in the morning.
You are much kinder.
Oh my God! And I'm introducing the paranormal of the way it is done in America and the rest of the world, and the haunted locations everywhere, and the paranormal, the way they do their investigations, their experiences, what they've encountered, the history background of each country, especially in America, guys. So what I do is I do the pre-recording interview,
Mm-hmm.
and then I play it live on the radio show,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got web radio as well, and then I do the interpretation of what is happening, what are they saying. So I put up pictures, and so yeah, it's really exciting because it's a big audience all over the world. So it's introducing the paranormal in Greece very intensely. I mean, we do have investigators here, but it's totally different the way they do it here
So
to the way
tell
you guys
us
do it over there.
how is it different
Huh?
there than it is here?
Okay, first of all, which is very disappointing, is that Greece, the Greek government, or the haunted locations that we have, like mansions and castles and things like that, they won't allow you to go in there and do investigations.
Right.
Which would have, if they would have allowed us to do investigations, it would have been beneficiary for the Greek government, and like you guys do in America, to what do you got? Hang on, I know the Greek word, I don't know the English word. Not reconstruct the building, but to keep it maintenance of the building, of the historical site. They could have maintained, we could have maintained the buildings and the manners that we have here, and the castles in a better condition if we would have allowed to do like events and paranormal investigations and actually bring out the history of each place and each, because with World War II with the Germans being under the Turkish Empire for 480 years. There's a lot of history here.
Mm-hmm.
So
A lot of bloodshed.
Why do you think the government won't allow it?
I think it can't be bothered, and it's too much graphiocatia, which in English I think it's graphiocatia, or too much paperwork for them.
Too much paperwork. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Which
it's
is
a shame
a shame because
history. Yeah. So much history that can be documented.
Yeah, it could be. And that was one of my shows, but what I said to one of my radio shows a couple of weeks ago, that, this would have been great for Greece, and it would have been, it would have let the country go forward, but they won't.
Now, you said you show pictures. How do you show pictures on radio?
I usually, it's a web radio. It's a radio station and a web radio at the same time. So
it's like a podcast.
Yeah, it's like a podcast.
So that's why you don't want me. You don't want them to see my face and get scared and turn the channel. Now I understand. Now it makes perfect sense.
So I usually ask for my guests to share with me like photos of the location that they've been, if they've had any experience, little short videos of any EMFs, EVPs, or any encounters that they might have had at that point, and photos, and that's it. And then I put it up there, and I get the audience, the Greek audience that are all over the world, because what we do is we try to get the Greek community from all over the world, from England, America, Australia, because it's in half Greek, half English.
Right.
We, if they're able to watch it and ask questions and different things.
Nice.
So it's good.
So you'd interview us in English and then you'd translate it and it would be Greek to me?
Yep. Yeah, it'll be Greek to you.
Now I understand.
But it'll be half English, half Greek.
But it sounds like you're having a lot of fun doing that. And you never know, but maybe by doing that, at some point, it may open up their eyes and let them go, people into those castles and into those older buildings. But, in reality, that there is ghosts everywhere. Doesn't have to be in those places. So,
it's true.
At some point, I'm sure you're going to get your team together and go to different places, and you don't even have to say what it is, but you can just go in there.
True.
Right, so,
true.
Now, your girls, did they, when they saw you doing it, did they ask you to take them with you to investigate, or did you propose it to them, or how did that go about?
Well, they've been asking to investigate since a very young age, and I'm like, not yet. Even now, I was a bit, should I? But I took them to when we were in Alabama, because we just got back from America a month ago. I was there from March till October. So the place that we went to, it's called Grace. They call it the Graceland Manor, but it's got nothing to do with Elvis Presley's Graceland. The history behind that house is that there's been a lot of killings. There's been like the KKK. And it was used as a madam high class brothel as well, downstairs in the basement. So it had a bit of a potpourri, a bit of everything in there.
Right.
So, but it was intense, but not as intense as other buildings are. With prolonged history and with a lot of energy in it. So I thought that's a good start for the girls. So that was the first investigation ever.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, oh well, I've done like little experiments in cemeteries, like going to a cemetery and touching the tombstones and things like that. That's when I did the first sort of mild investigation through the
Right.
cemetery.
Teach them
And then
first
I
how
took them.
to see how they react to the actual graves and
Yeah,
the spirits there. Yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Benai, despite the fact that Benai is the tough one, that is the dark side. She was standing on one of the tombs, and she was actually holding it, and she started crying. And I thought to myself, "Was it, honey? Why are you crying?" She goes, "Mum, the lady that's in here, she was abused from her husband,
Oh,
like physically, mentally, and emotionally abused. I can hear, I can see her head being smashed,
oh,
and being opened, and that's how she died." And I'm like, okay. So she got emotional, so she started crying.
right, right. But
Yeah.
in a way, it's good that you were there, and you basically said, "Okay, it already happened." You know,
Mhm.
I'm glad that you're realizing what the history is, but kind of show her how to let go of it because
Exactly.
not all of us got that training. you know,
Yeah. True.
and a lot of investigators unfortunately don't get that training to learn how to let go of it after they
Yeah.
experienced it. And and unfortunately they take sometimes some of that home with them.
With them.
Right.
True that.
Um,
True.
but
And that's
it's
why.
good.
And
So
I just want to point out that you are extremely well versed in how to manage the paranormal. And I don't want people thinking they can just bring their kids on an
Right.
investigation.
no, no, no,
You
no, 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 no.
you can absolutely, if something is chaotic, keep the kids safe and make sure that whatever that is not going to harm them in any way. Whereas uh, kids can very easily become suppressed or oppressed, or get attachments, and if the people with them don't know how to break that and keep the children safe, it can be problematic. So I'm always that you know person of caution, because people think they hear this stuff. Oh, I can just bring my kid. She brought her kid. I can bring my kid, and
No.
that's when we get the problem. And we got one.
No. No, that's true. That's a good point. My kids, when I took them on the first paranormal investigation, I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm a healer, so I've taught them how to heal themselves, um, how to ground themselves, how to cleanse themselves, and if anything happens, I'm right there to assist my children. And that's why I always say, when you go into a paranormal investigation as an event and you want to bring your child, um, okay, you bring it at your own risk, but um, there should be always a person, a paranormal investigator that is there, that is able to help if anything happens, how to cleanse the person, not just the child, even a person can get an
Yeah.
attachment there. How to know
Yeah.
how to do Reiki, how to cleanse, how to ground, how to stop at the investigation at that point, and being able to guide the person that's having a panic attack, an attachment, or is not feeling very well. So yeah, no, you don't just take your kids and go to an abandoned place and just do an investigation. No.
Well, we actually had that happen to someone Halloween here, and she got the call 11:30 from the two
Oh
friends that were
wow.
trying to help that person, and they wound up
Getting
getting
sick.
sucked in.
Yeah.
So
Oh
yeah, no,
gee.
it's serious stuff. Uh, Taking it a step further, what happens if someone goes on an investigation and doesn't realize they're pregnant?
I've had I've had a pregnant lady come to an investigation. To me, if you know that you're pregnant, please don't come to an investigation. It will heighten your gifts. It will heighten your energy. You're very open when you're pregnant. That's my opinion. That's what I know. That's what I feel. If you don't know about it, I don't know how to answer that. I think,
Okay.
to me,
Do
I
you
would
feel
say
there's a risk to the baby?
no. I believe that a baby is, oh, that's my opinion, right? That your child in there is protected by its own energy. That's what I
That's
believe.
interesting.
So yeah, like the baby, the soul of the baby itself, it's in the womb, so it's in the Holy Grail, because the womb is the Holy Grail, so it is protected.
Yeah, I've experienced that, but I've also experienced where the baby has actually gotten harmed. And
Okay.
yeah, where a woman who was pregnant, 5 months pregnant, she knew she was pregnant, and I kept saying, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I want to come. I paid. I'm coming."
Okay.
Okay, and she miscarried.
Yeah.
Went directly from there to the hospital, and I was
Yeah.
like, no more. If we know that they're pregnant, they know they're pregnant. That's no, because yeah,
I
they could be
agree.
protected. They could be protected, and maybe it was just going to happen anyway. But why risk it?
Exactly. Now, that's why I said if you know you're pregnant, do not come into an investigation. It's
Right.
like going on to, those Luna Park rides.
Mhm.
They say if you're pregnant, do not get on any of the
Right.
rides. So it's
Exactly.
exactly the same.
Yeah. It might as well just be more cautious then, because you
Exactly.
never know. Never know, right?
See, the challenge is
Exactly.
that people don't understand, that this is very real. And so
Mm-hmm.
what happened Halloween was and this was a young man in his 20s, was like, oh yeah, if you're real, come into me, go ahead.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
yeah,
Because he saw all the shows on TV and all that other stuff. So he oh, let's see if it's real. And that's what
he
happened.
found out.
So yeah.
And so
Okay.
this, part of what I think happens sometimes with people who are pregnant is they're like, oh, it's not going to harm me, it's not going to harm the baby. It's
Right.
like, yeah, do that on your own time.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I said if you don't know you're pregnant and you're going into an investigation,
Mhm.
I feel that it's protected. The baby's protected at that point. The more you go into your pregnancy, the more you're open. The more you're
Right.
everything's more heightened when you're the more you get into the your pregnancy. So
And
yeah,
you've
no,
also
stay
made a
home.
decision of free will.
Right.
Exactly.
So
So
you've
stay
you've
home.
chosen and that's a lot of what this is all about is free will.
Exactly.
That
That's
that
true.
to me is the holy grail.
True.
Yeah. Um. So now you're doing the show,
Uh huh.
and what made you decide? Just came
To
to
do the show.
you. Yeah, came to you.
Actually, I went as a guest for an interview from another radio producer in there, and because there's quite a few radio producers,
Right.
and the people that have got the studio, they said, "Would you like?" We had a big hit with people watching worldwide, especially the Greek community in America, Australia, I love Germany, England. Would you like to do your own show? And I'm like, oh, okay. So they called it Paranormal Activity because it is paranormal activity. So it's at 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock Eastern European time.
Okay. All right.
And the
And
other surprise that, sorry?
that's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. European
Yes,
time?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And the other thing is I'm opening up my own shop or company or whatever you want to call it, called Oracle Whispers. And it's going to be opening up in about a week's time. I'm getting everything done, the painting, the labels, everything is getting ready. The shop's getting ready.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
And let us know when you do, and
Right.
we'll attach it to
I
this
will.
video when
Yeah.
we
I
post
will.
it.
I will. I
And
will. And
Just in time for Christmas.
yeah, right.
yes, just in time for
So
Christmas.
what are you gonna have in there?
When I'm going in there.
Yeah, what are you doing in the shop?
Oh, what I'm going to be doing in there, I'm going to be doing my Reiki, crystal therapy, herbalism. I'm going to like holistic therapies,
Okay.
all the holistic therapies, and that I know so far. And then I'm going to start learning a bit, more things. I'm going to be doing my tarot readings and my psychic readings, mediumship. I'm going to be doing like all my witchy stuff, helping people with cleansing. I'm going to be doing meditation classes, higher self connection. So I'm doing a bit of everything.
Good.
A bit of
Good.
it's going to be
Now,
great.
you call it witchy stuff. I just call it, natural path.
Exactly.
Right.
I call it my witchy stuff.
Right.
Ancient wisdom.
Ancient wisdom. There you go.
Exactly.
Now,
that's important.
Right. Because you know a lot about herbs and a lot about essential oils and crystals, their properties and all that, and that you're able to combine whatever it is
And help.
to help
and guide and whatever
right.
they need.
Exactly. And that it's really needed. It definitely is needed. A lot of people are stepping away from the Western type of medicine and going back to Eastern type of medicine, which is more holistic, more natural. Not that they should stop seeing the doctors or anything like that, but it's good to have other options also.
That's true. Because there's some things that you can't avoid. Like for me, when I came back from America, I had a bit of an underlying issue with my blood pressure and arrhythmia. So even if I tried to do like with different herbs, and it will just sort of like having, some garlic or drinking ginger or doing that, it will just sort of bring it down a little bit, but it does need the assistance of your medication.
Exactly.
I'm combining both.
And that's that. It's all there, right? It's all there for us to use. We don't have to go one way or the other. It's the combination that is helpful for all humans.
Digging up those roots here in the fields in the winter under 6 feet of snow is like not a party. So it's nice to be able to open that pill bottle sometimes.
True.
Right.
And what do you have planned going forward? Are you committed to any other excursions, or are you planning to stay in Greece for the foreseeable future? Or
at the moment, I'm planning on staying here, like because all my children are here, my family's here, so I think this is going to be my roots because it is my roots. Despite the fact
are you
that I was
open
born
to
in
adoption?
Australia.
Because it sounds wonderful.
It is. Greece is beautiful. Greece is beautiful, especially the islands and especially summertime. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is nice. I'm open for adoptions if anybody wants to come. So, coming from a Greek background, despite the fact that I was born in Australia, my Greek roots are very intense. So the energy here is totally different. But I'm open to travel all over the world if needed.
Good. That sounds like you are just willing to do whatever you need to do, whatever is asked of you, whatever opportunity comes, because you know that the more that you're willing to do that, the more healing there is. Healing
Exactly.
for you,
Exactly.
healing for others, right?
And learning, you learn from each place that you go. You pick up the energy, you learn from that place.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
get the ancient knowledge of each place.
Yeah, because even here in the U.S., every building you go to has different energy.
True.
Eh, whether they're haunted or not, it still has different energy.
True, true, very true. Like even if you buy, if you rent a home, or you buy a home that other people have lived in,
Yeah,
you know that very well, Glenda. Like everybody leaves, even if they're alive or dead, they all leave their imprint.
yeah,
The house, the actual walls suck everything in,
yeah.
like they're
And
alive.
that saying of if the walls could talk, right? The walls could speak,
Exactly. Or
right?
we say in Greek, the walls have ears; they can
Yeah,
hear you. Yep, exactly.
exactly.
It's not wrong,
No,
not
no,
wrong at all.
no. Mm-mm. Now, when you were in Australia, how long were you
Hmm.
there, and did you take any courses there, any training there?
Okay, I was born in Australia. My
Okay,
parents went to Australia. It was how a lot of people immigrated from Europe and they started in the 1970s and they went to America. Others went to Germany. Others went to Australia. Those were the big America, Germany, and Australia, right?
right. Hmm.
So they immigrated to Australia and I was born there and I was brought up there and I did my high school there. I did. Uh, we came to Greece in 1979 for a couple of years. So I did a bit of Greek school here too, and then back to Australia. So there, I did my first. I did the when I was when I did those when I was 11. I did those seminars. I did them in Greece in 1984, and
Hmm.
then went back to Australia and I did my clinical hypnotherapy and past life regression in Australia. I did
Hmm.
my parapsychology and higher self connection through the Australian Parapsychology Institute in Australia.
Hmm.
And I did my Reiki master teaching in Australia as well. And then I came to Greece. I did, what did I do? Hang on. I did Reiki. Um, it's called Devic Reiki. It's got to do with the elements. So it's more of a
Elemental
softer
Reiki. Elemental Reiki. Right.
elemental Reiki. It's called Devic Reiki in Greece. So it's more, to me, it's a more softer Reiki and you can use it on children
Hmm.
because it's got the fairies and it's really, just more lighter, more
Right.
fun for the children.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
how I see it. Um, and what else did I do? Then I went to Scotland. I've lived in Scotland for 4 years and uh, I did hang on, my parapsychology diploma,
Hmm.
and I've done a demonology course and Wicca and witchcraft course, and now I've left it behind, but I need to get back into it. It's called Chinese herbalism. Um, what else? Master crystal diploma, and I think I've got another one, and which is called the witches and witchcraft herbalism. That's it.
Hmm. Uh, I can imagine that must have been a
Mm.
very interesting course to take in Scotland.
It
That
was.
was
It was.
probably a lot of fun and very informative because we know there's a lot of witches there. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, there is. There is.
so,
But the country, being in Scotland for four years, Glenda, let me tell you something. My son's still there. Mario, is still there. So in Europe, you can travel without a passport. If you're European, you can travel without a passport. You can go with your ID card. So you have like access to all European countries.
mm,
Now, Scotland is very dark for me. It's very, very oppressed. It's like you walk and despite the fact that it's so green, so like you can see the greenery everywhere. Like there's moss coming out of chairs. That's how green it is there because of the rain. But it is to me it's dark. Like you walk, you can smell and feel death pulling you down from everywhere because of everything. You know, they've gone through so many wars and being oppressed by England so many years. There's a lot of bloodshed there.
Yeah, I could understand that. And, you know, you being such a natural empath, I'm sure you felt all that. Even more than somebody who's just starting out, you know. Oof.
It is. So we've got those places here in Greece, like for instance, the Delphi Oracle in the you know what the Delphi Oracle is?
Right.
Okay, it's in Delphi. It's a place a bit further out from Athens. It's a couple of hours, 2-3 hours away from here. So when you go into the Oracle place, the ancient ruins of the god Apollo's temple,
Right.
you've got the goddess Artemis temple on that side, and then you've got the god Apollo's temple on that side, where the oracles used to sit in there and speak. My God, it is so heavy in the energy. It's like it's just too much to the point where you're like, okay, I'm actually choking here. Yeah. So there's a lot of places. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. So, now, do you do readings just in person? Do you do them on Zoom?
No, I do them online. I do them in person. I do them over the phone. I do them over the internet. Everything. It doesn't. We both know very well. And someone that's an empath or psychic, they can pick up the energy just by hearing somebody's voice or even reading their sentences. You can pick the energy that when somebody is writing something on Facebook, I can actually pick up at that point if they're saying it intensely, if they're saying it angry. So being so open over the years, yep, you know that very well too, because you're a brilliant psychic medium. You are.
So I wanted to go back. I want to go back for a minute to Delphi. What do you think the origin of the goddesses and the oracles there was? Where do you think they came from? Yeah. Where do you think they came from?
To me, they came from other planets. To me, they came down with their spaceships. You know how they say the fallen angels? Those are the fallen angels. They came down as watchers to watch over us and live amongst us. But we as humans, being greedy, we turned our backs on them and used them. Like we used the Fae people as weapons against the Atlanteans and the Lemurians. And Glenda knows that very well.
Yeah. Right, I know Glenda knows it, but just, you know, this is something we touch on with guests that are, you know, versed in it. So, you know, being that you're there and you've actually been to the site, I wanted to ask you what your sense of it was.
I mean, the so-called Nephilims are the Greek Titans, are the the Egyptian gods. Those are the so-called Nephilims. And to me, when those gods, those energies, those higher beings came down to this planet, they came down because they were looking for fuel. What's fuel? Fuel to them was gold. So seeing what they say in the Bible, if you're reading the Bible in the verses, they saw, like they say, they saw the women with the shiny hair. Don't forget, our hair has got the metal of gold in it. So we are the children of those immortals and the humans are the missing link. That's where we got our energy, our powers, our gifts from those higher beings.
So with that, where do you see us headed?
To destruction. No, I wasn't joking.
Well, it's certainly an option.
Yes.
It certainly is an option.
It is. No, if we don't pull back, I mean, human beings are so much in, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do different. They're so wrapped up into their technology, their mobile phones, their everyday, that they haven't taken a step back and actually think and understand what is going on, what is inside them. Everybody's a small, no offense, but everybody is a small god or a small goddess.
Well, why would that be?
To the churches, to the,
Oh, to the ones who would control us.
exactly.
Oh,
to the ones that,
screw them.
but God, when He created us, He said to my own image, didn't He?
Right.
So,
Even the least among you can do all that I can do and more.
Exactly. So we are small gods and goddesses. It's just that we became very, very greedy. And we just didn't know how to, because of our greediness and our egos, we wanted to be above those who taught us.
Well, did we become greedy, or was that the role model?
I think we did become greedy, given so many gifts. To me, given so many gifts, we became greedy using those gifts. And now, apparently, those gifts, I won't say they've been deprived, but they've been put under hibernation. Is that what it's called?
Suppressed a little.
Yep. And now people are actually slowly, there's a few of us out there that are actually waking up and thinking, hey, this was not our fault for what you guys did in the past. Give us the opportunity, awaken those gifts, awaken that knowledge, give us that download.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I believe.
And tell us about your book. How far along is that? When do you think you'll have that?
I've actually just started a few pages. I believe by, say, February, March, I will have it done. And it's all by my, all the experiences in my life, what I've been through, how I came to be a psychic medium, a paranormal investigator, real experience.
So what we would call an autobiography?
Exactly.
And what's your purpose in sharing that? Why do you feel people would?
To me, the purpose of sharing that kind of book is because it's going to have bits and pieces, and a lot of bits and pieces actually, of what it's like being a child and having those gifts and having people, your parents not understanding. How it is to raise psychic children and being able to teach them, to be able to guide them. So it's going to have a bit of guidance in it, and even little exercises in it on how, little bits and pieces of exercises on how to guide your children, on how to help the children, and how to help yourself, how to guide yourself.
So if I understand you correctly, you want to validate people who are going through what you went through, and
exactly.
So they shouldn't feel as isolated or not have the same attachments that there's something wrong with you or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
That's
being
wonderful.
being able to open up that book and say, oh my God, I've been through that. I've been through something similar like that. Okay, so how did this person get over it? How did they face it? How did they come about it? Okay, and actually take it all in.
Well, it's very courageous of you to bear that, and because I'm sure along with the triumphs, uh, there'll be some of what you had to endure and overcome. So,
True.
thank you for being courageous and putting that down and you know
True,
helping
because
people with that.
thank you, no, thank you. In one of those chapters, there will be actually of me talking about my parents, of how your psychic abilities sometimes can mislead you. Um, Both of my parents have passed away from cancer, right? At a very young age. Dad was 62, mum was 58. And I was seeing their cancer in both of their bodies before they actually got the cancer. But I was seeing it in the wrong body and at the wrong time. So spirit, energy wasn't allowing me to see it and stop the process. Because if I would have stopped the process, I was I wasn't going to leave. I was probably going to still be in Australia. I wouldn't have met my second husband. I wouldn't have had my two children. So it was supposed to happen that way. Some things when you go and get a reading, or you want a psychic to tell you about your past, present, future, sometimes you can't alter the future. You can alter a few things, but there's some things that you cannot stop.
Well, again, it comes down, I think, to that free will that we talked about.
Yeah.
You have free will to a point, but ultimately you kind of signed up for some of what's going to happen on this ride, and powers that be see that you need to go through it, and you go through it. All the free will in the world, So it's an interesting conundrum of trying to balance what you can change and what you can't.
Yeah. Oh, true. That's very true. It still hurts because it still crosses your mind. Maybe I should have done it like that. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I still do that to myself, even now at 50. I still go, maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I just missed something. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe how did I stuff up? Why didn't I see it? You still go through that. You still do.
And that is what keeps you in check.
And keeps you being human.
And keeps you being human. And keeps you
exactly
real. Because
true.
If you never go in your whole life being a psychic, questioning anything, then there's something not right there.
Well, then you're missing out on your excursion, on your evolution.
Right.
So, some of it has to be through self-determination and experience. We have about a minute left.
Okay.
All right.
But he just flew like that, like the whole hour just went boom, just like that. It was so great. Thank you.
So, give us how do people can contact you?
They can contact me through my Facebook page, Oracle Whispers by Kathrine Sorilos.
Okay.
My new website will be oracle_whispers.com.
Well, you'll put that on your Facebook page, correct?
Yes, I will.
And what about the radio station links? Is that on the Facebook page as well?
It's called www.lafamilia.gr.com.
Okay. So people will be able to find that on your Facebook page, though, right?
Okay. It is. It's on my Facebook page, and it's on my profile as well. So, which is Kathrine Sorilos.
Right. So perfect. Thank you very much for
my
waking
pleasure.
up so early, and willing to be awake, sort of, for this.
And I'm sure I'll find something to do when Glenda's a guest on your radio show.
I can't wait to have you on, guys. I can't wait. Thank you.
Great. We're looking forward to that. And now we're going to thank everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. And, see you next week at the same time. That's Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Do you have any idea who our guest is next week?
Who our guest? Who is our guest next week?
Oh, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
You guys will have to stay tuned.
Yep. Love yous all. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thanks. Bye.